grade. This is your second art lesson for the 2021 school year. Before we get started, I want to tell you that today we're going to talk specifically about nature as our subject matter for a work of art. So let's take a look at this painting, which is by the artist named Winslow Homer. And you can see that the subject matter in this painting is a landscape. And he has painted an outdoor scene, and if we look really closely, you'll see trees, but you'll also see other things like mountains, clouds, and if you look very, very closely down in the grass, you might even see a few deer. Today, we're going to use a new vocabulary word, and that is subject matter. And when we say, what is the subject matter of your painting, or what is the subject matter of your drawing, that's the thing that you as an artist have focused on the most. If we take a look at this painting, it's called The Poet's Garden by Vincent van Gogh, we would say that the subject matter is a garden. We see trees, we see bushes, we see grass in the sky. So these are all things that we can see and name that make up the subject matter of this very beautiful painting. Today, we are going to use a tree as our subject matter. And we're going to draw a tree either by looking out your window, or you can draw a tree from your imagination. You can use crayons or markers. You can see this is an example. This student actually used markers to draw her tree. You can think about the different kinds of lines that you'll use. You can see she used a lot of lines to give texture to her tree. She didn't really do a lot of coloring in, but used lines to create the texture on the bark and the texture of the leaves and the texture also even on that fence. She has beautiful texture. And think about the spaces in between your lines. What will that look like as well? As you are working today, we're going to use a method, and I'll put a picture up so that you can see. I call this the Y tree method, and you can see how the trunk of the tree branches off into a Y, which branches off into another letter Y, and it just keeps getting skinnier and skinnier. So the base or the trunk of the tree is our thickest point of the tree, and those branches get thinner and thinner and thinner as they reach out away from the tree. So you are going to need a pencil, some kind of color. You can use crayons, markers, and your red sketchbook. So go ahead and get your stuff, and I will meet you back here.
Okay, second grade, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with my drawing of nature, and I'm going to just start by drawing the trunk of the tree. And I'm just going to come down with 2 lines, and this will be the thickest part of the tree. If you'd like to, you can even kind of give a hint as to what those roots look like down as they go into the ground. From there, I'm going to come out with a few lines that are about half the thickness of my trunk. And where you put these is totally up to you. Remember, they can go any which way you like. Yours should not look just like mine. I'm going to come out again, and we start to see that letter Y. And then I'm just going to keep coming out and getting skinnier as I go out. Now, if you're looking at a tree, you probably already noticed that you have overlapping branches, one thing on top of the other. That is how trees look in real life. So if your branches bump into each other, that is perfectly okay. So again, I'm going, it's kind of like big, medium, little, and then teeny tiny. And your teeny tiny is probably what's going to overlap the most. If your branches go off the page, that is quite all right. That's a great way to make your drawing look even more realistic. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward my video now, and you can draw along with me. Remember, if I start to go too fast, you can pause the video.
Okay, second grade, so here's my completed drawing where the subject matter of this drawing is a tree. I included some other things too in this landscape, like the mountains in the background and the grass. I did add a little bit of color back in the sky as well. I used some warms, oranges, yellows, and a little bit of red too. Kind of hard to see, but you can see it a little bit. I had a lot of fun experimenting with the lines in the mountain and the lines for the grass, and also adding a lot of the texture to make it look like tree bark as well. I am not expecting your drawing to look like mine. In fact, I want it to look different. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Again, your subject matter has to be a tree, but you can do it any way you would like to do it. Remember that you're going to photograph your drawing when you're finished and submit it to me on Google Classroom. I am really looking forward to seeing what you create. Please share those drawings with me soon, and have a great week, everybody.